Luca Pinelli was a 2023 fourth-round draft pick by the Columbus Blue Jackets, but he is good enough to where he could be playing in the NHL in just a couple of seasons. He's a name that you're going to want to remember, and we'll tell you why today. He is our guest on Locked On Blue Jackets.
You're Locked On Blue Jackets, your daily podcast on the Columbus Blue Jackets, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
Welcome to Locked On Blue Jackets, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. I'm your host, Hayden Houshorn. With me in a second is my co-host, Jay Foster. We're here to talk about the good, the bad, and the ugly of your favorite team and ours, the Columbus Blue Jackets. Before we get going, we want to thank you for making this your first listen every day. Locked On Blue Jackets is free and available on all podcast platforms, YouTube, and the SiriusXM app. It's no secret the Columbus Blue Jackets had a great 2023 draft class. It's probably one of the better draft classes they've had in a long time. And sure, the final verdict on how they turn out in the NHL is yet to be determined. But if you take a look at the 2023 draft class, I think you'll see a lot of really exciting names that the Blue Jackets brought in. Luca Pinelli, he is amongst that bunch. He was a fourth-round draft pick this past season, pick 114. He's got a nice left-handed shot. He can play center and wing. And yeah, Jay and I are just really excited about him. He was dominant against his peers at times last year. So I think there's reason to believe that this guy could be, if he stays on a healthy trajectory, could be in the NHL in a couple of seasons. He was our guest today on Locked On Blue Jackets. So I'm going to waste no more time, and I'm going to let us kick it over to old Jay and I as we sat down with him last week talking to, again, Luca Pinelli, just about his career and what some of his goals are for his hockey career. So, yeah, without further ado, let's kick it over to him.
We're here with Luca Pinelli, Blue Jackets fourth-round draft pick, currently playing in the OHL with the Ottawa 67s. Luca, thanks for coming to hang out with us for a little bit in this very busy season that you're having.
Yeah, no worries. Thanks for having me.
Let's start off with an easy one. Can you just tell us a little bit about yourself as a player, as a person, just whatever you think that the people need to know?
Well, I mean, as a player, I think I'm a highly skilled forward with very high hockey IQ. I can make plays, find my teammates, and I can also use my shot as a threat to goalies. And I'm a very competitive player, so.
Luca, thanks so much for coming on to Locked On Blue Jackets, man. We really appreciate you taking time out of, again, a busy summer to join us. Let's get into hockey there, since you talked about it a little bit in the question about yourself. I want to know, for you, you're 18 years old, man, and you're already drafted to an NHL team. I know there's a road you got to take before you get to the league, but just when did you realize that the dream of being drafted by an NHL team was a possibility for you?
I mean, I think just growing up as a hockey player, right when I started, I mean, I've always kind of watched hockey. I've always really wanted to play in the NHL. It was a dream of mine. And growing up with two older brothers that also played hockey, they had the same dream. So, I mean, I think when I started kind of getting into, I guess, AAA, I really, noticed how good of a hockey player I am and how much of a chance I had. And I just kept on working, and the day came, and there's still a lot more work to do, and I'm excited for it.
I want to talk a little bit about the draft experience. What was that kind of couple of days like for you? Did you know that Columbus was going to draft you? Did you know it was a chance, or was it just like a complete surprise?
I mean, they were the first team I met with at the combine. I thought I had a really good chat with them. I knew it was a possibility that they could have drafted me, but wasn't kind of certain, I guess I could say. But yeah, it was a pretty fun couple of days. A little nerve wracking going into it, but I just tried to stay pretty calm, and yeah.
I know you've already answered this question a little bit, but I just want to talk to you more about what kind of a hockey player you are on the ice. What kind of a a player is Columbus getting in the future here?
I mean, like I said, I'm really competitive. I'll do whatever it takes to win, take on any role, and I'm really really high hockey IQ player. I can make plays with my teammates, like I said, and yeah.
Is there an NHL player kind of in the game at the minute, maybe in Columbus or otherwise? Is there someone that you kind of models your game after?
I mean, I would say like my game's kind of a little bit of Mitch Marner and Brian Marchand in the way where Marner's skilled forward, can find his teammates, very high hockey IQ, and Brian Marchand in the way he's really competitive and doesn't really care about his size and who he's up against, and there's a little bit of feistiness to his game.
You just talked a little bit there about being a competitive, high IQ hockey player, but if you had to choose of all the skills that you would use to define yourself, which one do you take the most pride in?
I mean, I would say it's probably between IQ and my compete, but I don't know. It's pretty close. When I would say, I don't know.
Sorry if that's a complicated question. Yeah.
Obviously, it's been a big summer. You got drafted. You're going back to Ottawa for the fall. What have you kind of been working on over the summer? Is there anything kind of in particular that you want to bring to your game for the start of the season?
I think something I've kind of focused on a little bit, especially at the start of the summer, was my skating. I wanted to kind of elevate it to another level because at the next level you're gonna have to, be quicker, stronger, and you got to keep up with the pace. So I think that's kind of a big thing, and yeah, that's probably one of the main ones.
All right, let's talk a little bit about the OHL because you could have taken multiple routes in your hockey career, but you decided to play major junior hockey. What made you want to go that route as opposed to doing something like school?
Well, I mean, I think just growing up down here in Ontario, that's kind of what's around me, and having an older brother who's played in the OHL before me. He was there 2 years before me. Kind of wanted to follow his path, and I kind of saw what the league was about, and so I thought it'd be the right choice for me.
What's it like playing in a city like Ottawa, which obviously it feels like it's a huge hockey market? What's it like playing somewhere like that?
Yeah, I mean it's great. I think with our arena, we can fit a lot of people in it, and the capacity is big. So I mean the fans are great. When it gets packed, it's really fun to play in. And obviously there's an NHL team there, but I mean people still come out to our games, and it's a really good time there.
Not to bore you with anything about myself, but I am from the United States. I have never been to one of these big time hockey games up there. In fact, like the NHL games are kind of the only thing I'm used to. So just from someone who plays in that type of environment all the time, I know it's very rowdy. It comes across on the television screen as some pretty serious hockey barns. Which one, other than your own, is your favorite to play in the OHL?
I would say I think London has a really cool arena, and they get a lot of fans during their games. They get up to like I don't know 9,000 or something like that. So it's pretty crazy, the atmosphere there, and I just like the feeling of the rink.
Our next partner I want to tell you guys about is AG1, the daily foundational nutrition supplement that supports a whole body health. I drink it literally every single day, guys. I gave AG1 a try because I was tired of taking so many supplements, and I wanted a single solution that supports my entire body and covers all the nutritional bases I need. I wanted better gut health. I wanted a boost in energy. I wanted some better immune system support. And again, I hated taking pills and vitamins and just wanted a supplement that actually tastes really, really good. I drink AG1 in the morning, in the afternoon. I got a big beer league hockey game tonight. I'll probably drink one before. I might even drink one after if I forget to drink one before. It's a great replenishing tool. It makes me feel unstoppable. It makes me feel like I'm ready to take on my day. It makes me feel like I'm ready to go. And it makes me feel like I'm doing something really good for my body. It makes me feel like I'm giving my body the nutrition it craves, like I'm covering all my nutritional bases. So if a comprehensive solution is what you need from your supplement routine, then try AG1 and get a free 1-year supply of vitamin D and 5 free AG1 travel packs with your first purchase. Go to drinkag1.com/NHL network. That's drinkag1.com/NHL network. Check it out.
Is there anything like what's your best memory of the season that you've just had?
I mean, at the beginning we had a pretty cool comeback. It was against Oshawa. That was probably something that kind of stuck with me. But I mean, yeah, it was, I think 5-1 or something with like 3 minutes and we came back. I forget what happened, but it was,
Oh,
yeah, it was
geez.
crazy. Yeah, it was nuts. It was a really good feeling to win that one. But yeah, I think that's probably one of the main ones. And I think just kind of sharing any memory that happened in the year with the team we had. We had a great group of guys. So
Your brother Francesco was drafted by the Kings 2 years ahead of you, so super awesome that you got to grow up and learn from him, I'm sure. But have you had a chance, any significant battles that you guys have been in over the years? I mean, I'm sure you guys have either played against each other or played with each other from time to time.
yeah, I mean, in terms of kind of playing against each other, I played him 2 times last year. We won the first game, he won the second game. But one of the funny ones is the first game, I got a penalty and he scored on the power play against me. So I was coming out of the box.
I bet he still brings it up.
It was a little bit awkward, but yeah, I don't know. But then yeah, I think and then just growing up, we've always kind of had battles, whether it's playing basketball outside or I don't know, mini sticks. We've always been having that compete and stuff. So
Yeah, it must be really cool to like follow in your brother's footsteps, almost like you've seen him go through all of this and now you're getting to do the same thing. What kind of hopes have you got for next season? Is there anything that you want to accomplish, like as a team or as like just you specifically?
I mean, I think I want to, I think I'm a leader on Ottawa 67s. I think, I'm ready to kind of take on that role. I think I had a good role last year with them, and we had a really good season. The playoffs we kind of got cut short, but I think, I think I just want to lead my team to, hopefully an OHL championship and Mem Cup championship. So that's kind of my goal with the team.
Since you said you've had the dream of playing in the NHL and the belief that that you can be drafted by an NHL team since you were a young kid, I need to ask, as you've sat and maybe thought about what your NHL career could look like, I'm sure you're enjoying the moment, as you definitely should be. But as you've sat and thought what your NHL career could look like, is there an individual goal maybe for like by the time when 20 years from now when you've hung them up, you're looking back and are like, I'm glad I accomplished blank? What is that for you?
I mean, I think probably winning the Stanley Cup. I think that's something that would be, I mean, unreal. And yeah, I think if I 20 years from now look back at that, I think that'd be awesome. So I think that's something that's probably one of my biggest goals, and obviously just making the NHL and yeah.
You spent a little bit of time in Columbus immediately after the draft for Dev Camp. We're a little bit biased, obviously. We're big fans of Columbus. What did you kind of enjoy about either the city or the experience? Like, what did you enjoy the most about development camp?
I mean, yeah, I think I had a really good time. I mean, I was in Nashville, flew home, and then flew out to Columbus the next day. It was a pretty quick turnaround, but I mean, right when I got to the city, I didn't know what to expect. It's a really clean city. I actually really like kind of the setup with the rink. It's nice, and I had a really good time with the guys. And obviously Columbus, they treated us really well. So there's nothing to complain about. And yeah, I really love the city.
Is there anything that you like? What was your idea of what the Columbus Blue Jackets were before you even knew the chance of getting drafted by them? Like, I mean, did you grow up playing, all the Chell games, and did you ever use them? Probably not, right? But like, what was your impression of the Blue Jackets prior to getting drafted?
I mean, I feel like I didn't really know much about them. I mean, I've kind of grew up in Toronto area, so they're probably one of the teams that I kind of always watched when I was growing up. But I mean, I think I obviously knew a couple players. There are players like Goudreau, Laine, the newcomers like Ken Johnson, Sillinger, and those guys. So I know kind of the players. I haven't really watched them play a lot, but I mean, yeah, I don't know. It's mostly what
Do
I
you know
knew.
any of the guys on the team already, or was it a lot of new faces?
Like on the NHL team, or just guys that are like drafted and stuff like
And
that.
yeah, anybody in the system.
Yeah, like on the NHL team, or like the guys at Dev Camp.
Yeah, well, I knew Fantilli growing up. I've played hockey. My brothers played hockey with him, so I've known him growing up. So yeah, he's a really good guy, and then obviously I just met a lot of new faces, and then I knew some other guys like Petal, just playing hockey with them, and yeah.
Yeah, I feel like hockey is a really small world. Like you either know everyone or like you know someone that knows someone. So.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. Yeah. You always have connections.
Who do you like to follow in the NHL? Is there any player or team? You just said you grew up outside of Toronto, so big Austin Matthews fan, or who is it for you?
I would say my player is Patrick Kane. I would say he's probably one of my
Nice.
favorite players growing up. I always enjoyed watching him. So
It's a good answer. I like Kane too. Not the team he
As
plays
someone
on.
who
But...
is about Patrick Kane's age, I always feel extremely old when people come in and they're like, "Yeah, I watched Kane when I was growing up." I'm like, "Oh God." I got old suddenly. We've talked a lot about hockey, and obviously that's a huge thing. But what do you do when you're not playing hockey? Like, do you have any hobbies away from the ice?
well, I mean, I think golfing's probably one of the bigger ones now. I go golfing a decent amount, but I mean, any type of sport I usually play with my friends. Or I mean, I played a high level soccer growing up until I really bared down on hockey, and so I think it's mostly sports, honestly.
Yeah. Was there ever a consideration that you were going to go into soccer instead of hockey, or was it just kind of
No.
I'll play soccer until I have to concentrate on hockey?
Yeah, I guess it was kind of, I think hockey was one of my main ones, but I've played soccer since I started playing hockey. And then I obviously quit when hockey got really kind of serious, and I wanted to, train in the summer for it. And, I couldn't really make the sacrifice to play soccer. So I put it all into hockey.
I mean, soccer is a big sport here in Columbus. We got the Crew going on, so you can check out some of those games, I'm sure. Do you have a favorite team, a favorite soccer team that you follow?
I mean, I don't really follow too much of soccer. But I mean, we went to the Crew game when we got there, so it was actually a pretty nice setup they got there, and it was a good game.
Somebody got you a jersey, right? Come on. They gave Fantilli a jersey, and they left all you guys to not have jerseys. I was like, this is a bad look. All those guys deserve jerseys. Come on. Like, look at all those clean-cut looking, nice recruits we got, and they're not, wearing a Crew jersey? Come on.
I know.
But
I would have liked the Crew jersey, yeah. It would have been pretty cool.
We'll get you one.
Yeah, perfect. Sounds good, yeah.
Is there anything else that you kind of that we haven't talked about that you kind of want to mention? Is there anything that you think people need to know? Like what do Blue Jackets fans need to know about you that we haven't kind of talked about, if anything?
I mean, I think I've kind of hit the spots where what I'm kind of really about, like my compete. I really don't kind of back down from anyone, no matter my size and who I'm up against. So I think that's probably one of the main ones I would say.
Well, based on the players that Columbus has at the minute, you are going to endear yourself to the fan base pretty quickly. We love guys that just don't back down, even if the other guy is much bigger. So it's gonna serve you well when you make it to Columbus. I think that's everything we have, right, Hayden?
That's all I have, man. Good luck this season. If you see Teddy Sawyer around, he's actually from my area. Tell him some random dude from Columbus named Hayden said hi. That's all
All
I'll
right,
say.
yeah, that's hilarious. Yeah.
Yeah, thanks, Luca. We appreciate it, and we'll be keeping an eye on the 67s and hoping for the best for you.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks again for having me.
Thanks once again to Luca Pinelli for coming on our show today. That's all we have for you guys today. Tomorrow, we're back doing season reviews. Jonas Korpisalo, my opinion, the second best goaltender to ever put on the pads for the CBJ. We're doing a season review tomorrow. He's a big reason why fans in Ottawa Senators fans, believe that they can win the Stanley Cup. And if you're not on Twitter or X, then you probably haven't seen Senators fans out there, but they genuinely believe that they can win the Stanley Cup this year. So that should be a fun season review that we have coming for you guys tomorrow. Thank you for listening to today's episode. Thank you for making this your first listen every day. Locked on Blue Jackets is free and available on all podcast platforms. Right here on YouTube, hit subscribe. Once we get to 500 subscribers, Jay and I will have some fun plans for you guys. Locked on Blue Jackets, again, free and available on all podcast platforms, YouTube, and the SiriusXM app. My name's Hayden Houseorn. You can find me on Twitter at HaydenH971. You can find my co-hosts on Twitter, Jay @ Jacob Foster. You can also find the show at LO_Blue Jackets. You can also email the show directly, lockedonbluejackets@gmail.com. Thank you once again for listening, and until tomorrow, make sure you stay locked on.